And it begins. Who will be there in November lifting a championship trophy over their heads? Likely the team that paid the price through detailed preparation. For 6 straight years, the Malloy State Farm team has lifted the Best of Will County trophy because we paid the price through a detailed review process done on a weekly basis for each customer. When was the last time you heard from your insurance person? Maybe call the Malloy State Farm team at 815-463-5800 for your personal price plan. Like a good neighbor, the Malloy team is there.
A part of our community's rich tradition, St. Peter Evangelical Lutheran Church at 310 North Broadway Street in Joliet has been sharing the gospel of Jesus Christ for over 165 years and has the nation's longest-running continuous Sunday morning broadcast beginning in 1926. Reverend David Totsky, pastor of St. Peter's, invites you to join them in worship every Sunday for their divine service in person at 9 a.m. or on their radio broadcast at 11 a.m. here on 1340 WJOL.
Sherry, what have you done to your hair?
What do you mean? Does it not look good?
It doesn't look good. It looks freaking amazing. I can't believe how thick and healthy it looks. Oh, I must know your secret.
No secret. It's hair volume from New Nordic.
Hair volume, huh? Well, it certainly lives up to its name. Your hair has never looked so thick. It is gorgeous.
I was so tired of having thin and brittle hair. Ugh, and the shedding. So I figured I'd give hair volume a try. Needless to say, I'm thrilled with the results. Hey, where are you going?
I'm going to pick up some hair volume right now. My reunion's next month and I want my hair to look as good as yours.
Hair Volume is the best-selling hair tablet in the world and one of many award-winning natural health products from New Nordic, the #1 supplier of dietary supplements in Scandinavia. Purchase at newnordicusa.com or your local Walgreens, Rite Aid, or CVS. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy. Help your hair look full, voluminous, and beautiful again at newnordicusa.com, Walgreens, Rite Aid, or CVS.
November is a special time for us to come together and honor the dedicated healthcare professionals who significantly improve the lives of seriously ill patients and their families. Hospice and palliative caregivers work tirelessly to ensure comfort, dignity, and quality of life for our loved ones facing serious illness. Their commitment to compassionate care is truly invaluable. This November, we invite you to join Lightways Hospice and Serious Illness Care in celebrating National Hospice and Palliative Care Month. It's an opportunity to raise awareness and recognize the vital role these care heroes play in our communities. Together, we can make a meaningful difference in the lives of those who choose hospice and palliative care services. To learn more about Lightways Hospice and Serious Illness Care, please visit our website at lightways.org or contact us at 815-740-4104.
Edgy Tim is here. Coach Rod is here. The best high school football fans in the state are here. It's time for Pigskin Preview. Coaches, players, fans, and experts. You get them all right here on Pigskin Preview. Powered by State Farm agents Kevin Malloy and John Wright.
And good evening and welcome to Friends Over 60. Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports. Nope, hasn't been on my mind at all. Welcome to the round 2 edition of Pigskin Preview. Glad you could join us. And again, we are looking forward to breaking down IHSA playoff football. Once again, we learn to treasure these rare Thursdays we have left where we can come in and complain and moan to each other, and then we turn the microphones on. So welcome. Glad to have everyone on board. Edgy Tim here along with the coach, Joe Rodriguero, Evan Bredesen, spinning the dials and the fables and everything else behind us, and we appreciate that. This edition and every edition of Pigskin Preview brought to you by State Farm agents Kevin Malloy in New Lenox and John Wright in Joliet. Like a good neighbor, Joe.
State Farm is there.
Our broadcast schedule is as follows. Friday, 5:30 p.m. sharp. Be there or, well, don't be there. Friday night drive with the boys. Yes. The Tripod will be hosting Friday night lights, the pregame show. 5:30. Following that is kickoff. At what time?
6 o'clock.
You sure about that?
Yes, I am.
All right. 6 o'clock kickoff. Class 8A, Lincoln Way East on the road, taking on the Minooka Indians. That is a 6 p.m. sharp kickoff, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go at 7. Well, I guess you could go at 7. You're going to be kind of late, so you might want to listen on the radio while you're stuck trying to find a place to park.
Yes.
So again, that is Friday, but oh no, ladies and gentlemen, we have even more for you. We have Saturday football here. Do we have a Saturday afternoon lights or we just go right to the game? We go right to the game.
Yes.
So 1 o'clock kickoff, 7 Batavia at Lincoln Way West. Again, terrific ball game. Speaking of which, we will have Dennis Piron from Batavia joining us. We will break down the Batavia Bulldogs this year. Rob Zorn will also join us in the 6 o'clock hour talking Lincoln Way East football. Matt Harding from Minooka will get the other sidelines view at 7:05. And Alan Thorson, Joe,
We haven't talked to him all year.
I'm incredibly embarrassed to say that we have not had Alan Thorson on. Well, there's a lot of things I'm embarrassed about, but not having him on the show is just wrong, Joe.
Yeah, it is.
I'm blaming you.
Okay. That's fine.
That's how we're going to go with that.
Right.
815-254-7300. Would love to hear from you. Any thoughts? Give us your thoughts from last week. Preview some games. Give us what you want to know from us. Questions. If you're watching online, hello, everybody. You can DM us if you will, and we'll be more than happy to answer that for you as well. So, again, 815-254-7300. Joe?
Okay, hold on.
Yep.
Hold on. I've got one thought.
Oh, boy.
I got one thought.
Yep.
As you know, out there in football land, it was my great friend's birthday yesterday.
Evan.
And there's I've known him very well now for at least 10 years now. So I know he loves pizza.
Yep.
He likes the chicken place out by Dixon.
Yeah,
Like
rips.
that.
No doubt.
And the other thing I know that he likes is I gotta get
there we go.
the chocolate cake from Portillo's.
Portillo's, it's the best.
Yes. So as you can tell, my pen ran out of ink too. So, but happy birthday, big boy. 60 years old.
Thank you.
You made it.
That's kind of personal about your ink running out, but we'll save that for another time. Thank you, sir, very much. That is my all-time favorite cake.
I know.
No doubt. Do you have a cake for me too?
I don't
Or?
have a cake, but I do have an application for AARP that you can fill out.
Thank
after
you.
the show.
Sweet.
Thank you, Evan. Yeah, I expected that from you. This pen doesn't work, by the way. I might get launched over. I can't do that though. I'm on camera.
That's okay.
We'll go out to the phone lines. Joining us, another crew member of the Over 60 Club. Bob joins us. Hello, Bob.
Hi, guys.
How's it
And
going?
happy birthday.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate
How
that.
old?
I am 60.
Oh, that's good. Catch it up to me.
Great, Bob. Yeah, that's the first thing I thought when I turned 60. Good. I'm catching up
Yeah.
to Bob. Are you making the trip?
Yep.
You will be. Have you been down there lately or no?
I haven't been down there for a
You
while.
will be incredibly impressed with the stadium and the renovations they've built at Sacred Heart Griffin. So we want you to call next week, obviously, when you come back after your running clock win on Saturday. And I want you to fill us in. And when you're walking around and you're looking at this stuff, Bob, I want you to think of Joliet Catholic and what they could do with what they have. Look at what Sacred Heart did with the area and the space that they had to put together. Bob, I think you'll be very impressed with it.
I hope we do something.
Yeah, I hope you do too. But if you're looking for an example of a school that was kind of limited space-wise and what they were able to do, and Joe, you know this,
Yep.
Gorgeous football stadium, all turf baseball field, all turf softball fields, knocked everything out. Everyone got taken care of. And it's a great facility. So there you go.
That's good.
Now with the game being said, Bob, I like the Hillman's chances on
So do
Saturday
I.
in a big way.
I do too.
This is
We
not.
went down and watched them play the first game before they played.
Yep.
And they like to run a lot of draws, and they like to throw the ball over the field.
Yeah, they're going to be just fine. Again, you saw what happened with Jacksonville. Jacksonville comes from the same conference. The Bellwether's already out in Rochester, eliminated first round. That's a whole other deal.
Yep.
Yeah.
I like the Hills' chances here quite a bit. Joe, thoughts?
Well, plus the fact, Bob, the weather could play in Hilltopper's hands too.
Yep.
Because it might start raining down there before it rains up here on Saturday.
Yep.
So,
Good. And they can keep it down there too.
Yeah,
So.
Who's going to be our third round?
probably Peoria.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
I'd
yeah,
love to
go
pick.
there.
I'd love to pick my alma mater, TF North, but I would be incorrect doing that. I believe it'll be Peoria. It will be. It will be most likely in Peoria.
It will be.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. So you're going to get a tour of Central and Southern Illinois, Bob.
Oh, that's good.
Excellent. All right, my
That's why I get
friend.
out of the house.
I do you tailgate or no when you do a road trip?
No, we
Too
don't
hard?
tailgate.
Yeah.
No.
They do tailgate at Sacred Heart, though. I think you'll be impressed with the tailgating scene that goes on down there. They
All
do
right.
it. They do it up. They do it up right.
That's good.
Yeah,
Yep.
no doubt. All right, my
Okay.
friend.
Have a safe trip, Bob.
Yeah, you guys have a good weekend.
You too.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right. Bob drops off. We appreciate it. Oh, Greg and Tinley's on the phone. Greg, welcome aboard, my friend.
How you doing, guys? Good talking to you.
Yep, you too.
Greg, I got your answer.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, what's up?
I talked to a good friend of mine who is a ref. He was at the game, and he was at the Hawks game last night. So I interrupted the Hawks game on him. I called him last night. He said that on the snap of the ball hit the ground and it hit the punter's leg. So the punter really didn't drop the ball. Maybe he tried to pick it up. So he's got to run it or throw it. So when he kicked it, and you said the ball went into the end zone.
Well, it went deep. I'm not sure if it went to the end zone.
He said it did. He was there. He said it did.
Okay.
So Lincoln Way East has the choice to give them a 5-yard penalty or take the ball at the 20. And I think you said Lincoln Way East just took the ball at the 20.
Okay. All right.
It's a legal batting of the ball. I said, what about a drop kick? He said, well, drop kick is okay, but the ball never really got to him in the air. That was the big thing.
See.
It never got to him in the air.
You know, I don't think the announcer at the game, the PA guy, knew what was going on either.
No, probably not.
He just announced the penalty and they declined it. And so we were sitting there. We don't know what happened.
Yeah.
But okay.
Yep.
All right. That's a new one on me.
Yep.
Thanks for looking it up.
Should be a good round two for the most part for the Lincoln Ways, Greg, from what I'm looking at. Obviously, I think
I like it.
I think Lincoln Way West is going to have their hands full with Batavia, but I like the matchup Central has with Hoffman Estates. I will be there tomorrow night, by the way, and then East coming over to Minooka to play. Well, we'll leave it at that. We're going to have both coaches on, but I like East's chance there as well. So we'll see.
Yeah. I was going to ask you too. Did you get enough touchdown passes last week out in Naperville?
I did. It was what we thought it was going to be. I told Joe that driving back. I said it was exactly what we thought it was going to be, Greg. It was two really good quarterbacks and two really good passing games. You know, I wouldn't even say that the defense was bad. I've seen worse defense. It's just you've got two guys that are throwing laser beams all over the field. Hey, you know, it's hard to defend sometimes.
Is it the sophomore quarterback now, or is it
sophomore?
Okay.
And Joe, he's
good.
Really good.
I saw the highlights on YouTube.
Really good. So they're going to be tough.
I love those receivers too.
Yeah.
Particularly at Naperville North, that Chico Thomas.
Well, you know, Chico and Quinn Morris both were transfers from Plainfield East and ended up transferring into Naperville North this year. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's where they came from. So those are two big time. And Chico's a really good receiver. I didn't know much about him. I knew about Quinn, obviously. I didn't know much about Chico. Boy, they're both really good receivers.
Yeah,
So,
they fight for the ball too. That's what I
Yeah.
like about them.
Yeah. And Jacob Bell, I think Ball State will be perfect for him because I truly think he'll have a chance to compete early to play there.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good quarterback.
Good. I'll be looking for him. Yeah.
All right, my friend. We appreciate it.
Okay.
Take care, Greg.
guys.
Thank you.
All right. Good to hear from Greg and appreciate him joining us. And again, don't go anywhere. We are going to have we'll have a little bit of open time, but we are going to have some guests the next two go arounds. We are going to have Rob Zorn joining us at around 6:25, and then Dennis Piron from Batavia at 6:45, and we'll have the very tail end of the 7 o'clock hour on to have guests and what have you.
Your boy Johnny O'Brien threw 4 touchdown passes last week because all you say is
Johnny Touchdown.
Johnny Touchdown.
Johnny Touchdown. He's Johnny Touchdown. We'll go out to the phone real quick. Is it Alex joining us? Alex, welcome to the show.
Gentlemen, how you doing tonight?
Doing fine. How are you?
I tell you what, every time I call and I started getting the butterflies in the stomach, I'm talking to Hollywood
See,
to themselves.
Listen, we're just 2-3 knuckleheads here. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I get nervous when I see Joe every week. So
it was the same. You know who I ran into last week because I'm out in St. Ann now.
Okay.
I was at the grocery store. I ran into Steve Susie.
The man. Now see that should get that
would
starstruck
give me
right there.
Right there.
That's the
Yeah,
guy.
and I did. I got some butterflies. We got talking ball, and it was awesome to talk to him. And
Steve is. I tell you what, I've had the pleasure to know Seuss for a long, long time, and I'll tell you what, he is one of the nicest people you will ever get a chance to talk to and run into. Seuss truly is just a great guy.
Yeah, he is.
So
I was telling him I live in St. Ann now because that's where my wife is from. And
didn't he go there?
Grew up in St. Ann.
Yeah, he went there. Yeah, I remember him talking about it.
We got to talking. Yeah, and it was a good conversation. He said the same thing about you. I said I gotta meet Edgy. I gotta meet Coach Joe, and he had nothing. He's like what Edgy is on the radio and podcasting he does. He's just a great guy.
I appreciate that. So you got a big game this weekend, huh?
Oh, Bradley. You got Whitney Young coming to town.
Yeah. Oh, that's a win.
You know, and I watched the film against Kenwood. I mean, listen, I know Kenwood usually has a good program.
No, they're not real good.
They're a little
this year.
down this year.
Yep.
Okay.
Agreed.
It's hard to tell. Listen, I thought they were going to have a hard time with Jacobs. And when I watched the game, listen, I love Bradley, but they kind of got lucky. I mean, the coach, the time was running out. I felt like didn't use a timeout when he needed to. You know, it's just they didn't go to their bread and butter when they needed. They had a lot of time, and they didn't use the time in their advantage. It just kind of fell down with them. But Bradley's not used to playing a team like that. You know, they run in the tight formation, the wing, and I feel like Whitney Young is more what Bradley plays, a spread offense. And I'll be, and like I said, Susie said on his podcast, and he said the same thing. It's hard to play at Bradley.
Yep,
it is.
I was just going to say that, Alex. They're a whole different animal.
Great fan support. Yes. Great. It's a really tough atmosphere. They make it a very good home field advantage there. There's no doubt about it.
I tell that to people, and people like take that the wrong way.
I know. I've been getting that for a long time, and oh well.
And they're like, "Well, what's wrong with Bradley?" And I'm like, "It's just I've been to a lot of high school football games. I've been up to Nazareth and Kankakee. It's just different at Bradley.
Yeah,
it's more of that college atmosphere."
Yep, 100%. You couldn't have said it any better.
Totally agree with you, Alex.
And I like where Bradley is seated.
Yeah.
Going forward, they beat Whitney Young, and it would be.
Well, I think they're going to run in probably to Lincoln Way Central the way things are going.
Yes, and I didn't like how they played at Lincoln Way Central, but I feel like they
Second
get the
time
game going, and it's hard to win twice. You know,
yes,
your
sir.
Team, and,
Yes,
but
sir.
also K's. You got Bloomington coming into town.
Yep.
I don't know too much about Bloomington.
It'll be a big win for the K's.
Okay. That's what I kind of figured. I know the quarterback was out last week from a friend of mine. I texted back and forth, and he will be playing this week.
There you go.
So
excellent.
Yeah.
Alex, hey, I hate to snip you short, but we got a break here. But hey, call again. We'd love to hear from you.
Yes.
Awesome. Thanks for talking, guys.
All right, Alex.
Thank you.
Alex drops off. We got to take a break. When we come back, Rob Zorn will join us from Lincoln Way East. We'll talk everything Griffins football and probably some other stuff too. You're listening to the Round 2 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News, Talk Sports.
And it begins. Who will be there in November lifting a championship trophy over their heads? Likely the team that paid the price through detailed preparation. For 6 straight years, the Malloy State Farm team has lifted the Best of Will County trophy because we paid the price through a detailed review process done on a weekly basis for each customer. When was the last time you heard from your insurance person? Maybe call the Malloy State Farm team at 815-463-5800 for your personal price plan. Like a good neighbor, the Malloy team is there.
Welcome to Cottage Life at Our Lady of Angels Village in Joliet, where you can trade indoor chores, property upkeep, and real estate taxes for an easygoing retirement vibe. Live carefree in a cozy cottage with 2 bedrooms, 2 baths, an attached garage, and your own personal outdoor spaces. View floor plans at olavillage.org. This charming rental community was created for individuals in their sunset years, right here in Joliet. Schedule a tour today. Call 815-729-3793 or visit olavillage.org.
The Freestyle Free-For-All Tour, Friday, November 8th, comes to Rosemont Theater in Chicago. Live on stage, see K7 TKA. Jenny Bergman of IHSA Babes. Lisa. No Mercy. Expose. Lizette Melendez. Cynthia and Johnny O. Rob Bass. Brenda K. Star. Freedom Williams. Suave, Cora, and The Cover Girls. Hosted by Speedy. Music by Blazer One. All backed by MGM Guanera Brothers. The Freestyle Free For All Tour. Friday, November 8th at the Rosemont Theater in Chicago. For tickets, go to Ticketmaster.com.
Sherry, what have you done to your hair?
What do you mean? Does it not look good?
It doesn't look good. It looks freaking amazing. I can't believe how thick and healthy it looks. Oh, I must know your secret.
No secret. It's hair volume from New Nordic.
Hair volume, huh? Well, it certainly lives up to its name. Your hair has never looked so thick. It is gorgeous.
I was so tired of having thin and brittle hair. Ugh, and the shedding. So I figured I'd give hair volume a try. Needless to say, I'm thrilled with the results. Hey, where are you going?
I'm going to pick up some hair volume right now. My reunion's next month, and I want my hair to look as good as yours.
Hair Volume is the best-selling hair tablet in the world and one of many award-winning natural health products from New Nordic, the #1 supplier of dietary supplements in Scandinavia. Purchase at newnordicusa.com or your local Walgreens, Rite Aid, or CVS. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy. Help your hair look full, voluminous, and beautiful again at newnordicusa.com, Walgreens, Rite Aid, or CVS.
It's Friday Night Lights on 1340 WJOL and WJOL.com.
Yeah, that is Friday Night Lights. You can hear Friday Night Lights this Friday, a.k.a. tomorrow.
From the press box.
From the press box. Coach Joe and Evan and Terry painting the picture, giving you the Dewey. Yeah, Dewey. I don't know what I'm talking about.
No. You're 60 now.
Will you stop it? Stop it, Joe.
You were all over me when I turned it, so.
We'll go.
Well,
I didn't even know you. I didn't even know you when you were then. What are you talking about? Who's losing the memory now?
I don't know.
Let's go out to the phone lines. Joining us, the head coach of the Lincoln Way East Griffins, Rob Zorn. Hello, sir.
Hey, man. How you guys doing tonight? I know if you're still talking to me, that means things are going okay for us. I hope things are going well for you.
It is. Sadly, it is kind of the barometer, isn't it? If we're talking to you.
Well, that's okay. I'll take that any day of the week, twice on Friday night.
The question I have for you is, obviously it's been going swimmingly for you this year. Your team is putting up a lot of points and they are not giving up a lot of points. So my question to you is, how do you continue to get them motivated and really zero in and focus in and week out? Despite all this, I mean, everything's clicking, Rob. How do you keep them at task? How do you keep them on point?
Oh, no, I appreciate that. And that's our job to do that, when we're at practice and keep focused. And, we always guard against that Coach Nick Saban rat poison, stuff.
Yep.
And Frank Lenny, and I'm not inferring that this is going to occur by any means, but I learned a lot from paying attention to the people that came before me and that were a lot better than me. And Coach Frank Lenny used to talk about, we'll celebrate when the trophy's in the case. So you just got to make sure they are focused. We may have talked before the Naperville Central game. The Naperville Central game was exactly what we needed. It was a tough, excellent, hard-nosed opponent. Things did not go well offensively early. We were down right away. So it was a really good, positive overall learning experience. The offense learned that it wasn't going to always be easy, and they couldn't take things for granted. And then it proved, outside of a quick play early off an offensive turnover, our defense gained some confidence that night too. So we really were fortunate that that's what happened week 9. And I think it got everybody, if they weren't focused already, refocused. And our guys are pretty hungry. They're pretty humble. They know there's a standard. We really we guard against it. But I think the way you guard against that is you show up every day and you work your tails off and you let the points and the wins and losses take care of itself because of your process. You don't look ahead, much further than the old sixes in front of your face like we like to talk about.
Rob, as you kind of stole a little my thunder here, because my first question to you is, with the season you've had so far, as you mentioned, everything seems to be clicking. As a former coach and former head coach, and we're always looking for things that we can always kind of button up a little bit. Is there anything that you'd like to see that's buttoned up here going forward?
Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean, you guys stopped by a minute the other day. You come out any Tuesday, Wednesday practice, you'd probably think we were 3-6. You know what I'm saying? We don't take a lot of joy in accomplishing things unless they get accomplished the right way. So there's all kinds of, we kind of talk about every play in the game is a game and is a one play game in itself. And if all 11 guys aren't doing their job every single play, then we're going to coach the heck out of whatever wasn't correct, So what am I telling you? We're never going to be satisfied till you play the perfect game, and that's an impossibility. There's never been a perfect game played. All have things to work on, and we've got to make sure we're healthy. We got to shore a few things up on the offensive line. We have to have consistent 3-level defense versus the pass, the rush, the underneath, and the deep. So there is, I could go position by position and tell you what's wrong with every single guy on the team. But, okay, we're fortunate that there's an awful lot of right about those guys.
Yes, there is.
And again, I know you're zeroed in on your team, but, obviously you've played against some very good teams this year. I think one of the big storylines we talked about statewide from the very early in the year, and it continues to be a main storyline, the amount of quarterbacks and great quarterbacks that are in for the next couple of years. I mean, Rob, it's insane the amount of high-level kids we've got that are going to wind up playing in college. My question to you is, your guy, Jonas Williams, we see the numbers, we see the stats. What makes him different? If you had to explain to someone about him, we see the numbers and we can watch the film, but what else kind of makes him and sets him apart different from maybe some of the others?
Yeah, sure. So I think the physical skills, right, you're saying are the obvious thing, right? So what's different than a 6'3", 205-pound kid that is quick and fast and all those things, right, with the great technique? Well, just to answer your question initially in general, that's the advancement in training that is going on now compared to maybe when we were coming up. I'm quite sure some of these kids have quarterback coaches at the age of 5, right?
Yep.
And they're getting this advanced training. So you're getting a further along product sooner because of all the opportunities there are now externally for them to get better. And I promote all those. And then when you combine who's worked with him outside of us and you put them with Brandon Bauer and Joe Palisard, you got some guys that are coaching him up well. But really what makes him different is who he is as a person. And that's been every bit of, if not even more, gratifying, satisfying for us is we get to be around him other than the 2 hours of practice, and we get to see who he is as a young man that was getting rides home until this past June. Every other 26 quarterback that's elite in the country is 17 or 18 years old, held back. This guy's a young 26, was 15 till June.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the Williams looked like that played for the Bears when he was 15 or 16, but I'm saying I have a hard time believing that there was much difference or, who this and that. So I'm not trying to oversell him, but he is who he is. He's elite. He's one of the best in the country, and he sets himself apart by his work ethic, by his character, by his humility, yet fierce competitiveness, and just a joy, obviously, when you're out there on the field, but then the other 22 hours a day that you might get a little piece of his time, he's been incredible as well. And it starts at home with mom and dad, and the coaches that had him before did great. I get to see Coach Harvey Jackson a lot, and I'm always telling him, man, I appreciate you and this and that. And So we're not taking credit for this young man's success. We're just honored to be a little part of his ride.
Yep.
Rob, and speaking of Jonas, talk about the guys that catch the ball for him. You talked about him a little bit, but the receiving core, it had to get. We saw you week one, and I was out at practice last week with you and watching you guys practice, and your receiving core is very good. Also, talk about some of those guys.
Sure. Well, I got to talk about the guy that runs that group, and you know him well, Lance O'Kane.
Yep.
And he's got a great young assistant receivers coach that played for us, Jacob Jemlo. And, those two guys, especially Lance. Lance is like we'll talk more about who he is coming up here in the next year or two. But Lance Lokank is an old school guy, but relates to the kids great. And it was kind of the perfect storm where we, get this Ferrari at quarterback at the same time we probably have the deepest receiver room ever as well, right? So it's a good time to be a receiver. Right? So and we got 8 guys. We go 2 deep, and it starts with guys like Christian Remblake. It starts with guys like MJ Slay, Colin White, Keegan Ruane, and then you get a Sean Lefevre rotated in there and a Luke Vetter. And every now and then we even let the tight end have the ball, Trace Volo, right? who has done a nice job adjusting his role, because if you pay it, if you kind of watched his progression as a sophomore and junior, he was the hand down in-line guy doing the dirty work.
Yep.
And he's very capable of that.
Yep.
But now he's out there standing on 2 feet catching balls. So proud of him being versatile, right? So we go really deep, and I always hate that I probably missed the name. And then what you have is this incredible tailback in Zion Giss. He goes down for a month with a hand, and Brody Giss comes in, and we don't miss a beat. So then you got an incredible 2-headed monster at that spot. And Zion, like some people probably shouldn't even say this right now, but he's just as good as a receiver. So it's been a really fun thing to watch, and how those guys rotate in on guys, and we always got fresh bodies there. And, I went home a lot of days in June and August, like, well, we ain't going to be any good on defense. But then I found out a little later that maybe it's because we may not play an offense that's quite like that.
Yeah.
And we will.
I agree.
There's offenses left. Trust me. I know who could play down the road if we're fortunate to advance. So I'm not certainly not discrediting anybody we're going to see, and they could be elite. But there is a chance we may get done and say the best offense we saw was every day at 201 Colorado Avenue.
Yeah. No question. How's Mrs. Z doing? I worry about her a little bit this time of year. It's a long season, Rob.
Yeah, I worry about her too. She got to come home to me. No, it's the same thing. It's the rock and the foundation, and again, I had the opportunity to talk a little bit about her publicly, and she absolutely has decided that this was going to be a big part of her life, and she made it us able to embrace it and make it a family thing. And she comes by being a competitive athlete herself.
No doubt.
We've talked before about being as good a volleyball player as there was in the state back in '93. Could have went and played in the Big Ten and had a special opportunity to go down to Illinois State. And she's got that competitive fire, but she loves being a boy mom. And, she's raised 3 of them in me, and she's doing a hell of a job.
Yep. No doubt about it. Health-wise, how's the team?
Yeah, no, that's a challenge this time of year too. So the Naperville game was a physical brawl, and that's a credit to Mike's guys up there. They were very physical, and we came out of there a little bit of a mash unit. We're fortunate to have some next man in guys step up last week, so we got some guys some rest, and I think we're going to be closer to be full force. But anybody playing now that is completely comfortable out there probably hasn't played hard enough, right? Exactly. You're 11 weeks in, and you got to understand the difference of being hurt and injured, and it's not always going to be comfortable. When your job is running into guys full force physically with your head, your shoulder, your arms every play, some kids, you're not going to be feeling like $1 million every single week, and you got to gut it out and get it out. And if you're hurt, you may have to play through some hurt. If you're injured, you don't play, you go rehab. So that's the difference in our program. Hurt or injured, there's a big difference. And playing through a little discomfort, that's life and that's game of football. But, to be able to rest a few guys and feel like we're getting back to full force, that's good.
Good. Again, always appreciate you taking time. We know how busy it is this time of year. So again, we always love getting you on the phone and just appreciate your time.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, I hope we can talk every week for a few weeks, man. Thank you.
All right.
Good
luck, Rob.
I would wish you good luck, Rob, but I do have to go home. So I'm just going to leave it at that. Okay.
I tell you what, if you got 1 second, what an unbelievable, I assume it's safe to say that wasn't your father's or grandfather's Minooka, man. That place is unbelievable. Facilities.
Yep.
We were there. We were very pleased and happy. Our assistant superintendent Rob Schiffauer became theirs, and they're doing things the right way. Coach Harding and we were there a couple of years ago. It's not an easy place to play, and it won't be easy tomorrow night. I'll guarantee that.
Yeah.
Once the clock start, we got to get on the yellow limousines early and get out there and play a ball game.
All right, Rob.
Yep.
Thanks.
Good luck, Rob. Thank you.
I appreciate it, man.
All right. Rob Zavonar joins us from Lincoln Way East. All right. Don't go anywhere. We'll take a break. We'll come back, go out to the phone lines. We'll be joined by Dennis Piron. The Batavia Bulldogs come to Lincoln Way West on Saturday. We will get the breakdown from Dennis. You are listening to the Round 2 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News, Talk, Sports.
Stop staring at that junk car in your garage or driveway. Now is the perfect time to get rid of it. Joliet U-Pull-It wants your junk car and will offer you free same-day pickup and the highest price in the area, guaranteed. Plus, they're paying top dollar for your scrap metal. Right now, Joliet U-Pull-It will give you $160 per ton for scrap metal and $215 per ton for complete cars. Imagine having more room in your garage or driveway. Better yet, imagine having more room and more money in your pocket. Joliet U-Pull-It accepts all makes and models. Simply log on to JolietUPullIt.com and click on Sell Us Your Vehicle or call 815-723-3011 to get a price immediately for your junk vehicle. Remember, $160 per ton for scrap metal and $215 per ton for complete cars. Plus, Joliet U-Pull-It is one of the area's largest yards to pull used auto parts with no entry fee at Joliet U-Pull-It. For information, go to JolietUPullIt.com.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Febreze. As a rideshare driver, I love keeping my car smelling fresh and clean. So when I'm driving, I only trust Febreze car vent clips, featuring 3 distinct intensity settings, because it's that little touch that sets me apart. I can turn the intensity down for subtle freshness, or I can turn it up for when I want lots of scent. So whether it's set to low, medium, or high, with Febreze car, I know my car's going to smell amazing. Which keeps my driver rating right where it belongs. Picking up, Oscar!
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, to check that your seats aren't in the visitor section first before buying tickets.
I'm so excited for this game. I can't believe you got us tickets.
Me too. Wait, are we on the wrong side?
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
This is going to be a long game.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Miller Lite presents your Chicago football game day headquarters. JMO's live in Mokina. This Sunday, catch all the game day action as New England travels to Chicago at JMO's live in Mokina, featuring a free halftime pizza and pasta buffet, $3 Miller Lite and Coors Light drafts, $4 Miller Lite and Coors Light bottles, and all of the game day action on 45 televisions throughout the bar. JMO's Live, 10160 191st Street in Mokina, and online at jmoslive.com. Celebrate responsibly.
High school football on 1340 WJOL.
And welcome back. It is the Round 2 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports. EDGYTIM, along with the coach, Joe Rodriguero, and Evan Bredesen, spinning the dials. And gentlemen, let's go out to the phone lines. We're going to welcome in the head coach of the Batavia Bulldogs, my friend Dennis Piron, joining us. And Dennis, know it's a busy time of the year, but we appreciate you taking a few moments.
Anything for you, friend. Thank you very much. How is everything going down there?
Good. Well, we are going to just praise you right now, and you're going to have to take it. Yep. So here we go. You ready?
You're going to have to take this, Dennis.
So obviously I do a lot of work during the week, and you know, one of the biggest challenges, and Joe knows this, and every media person in the world knows this, is getting accurate information. Well, folks, let me tell you, my friend Dennis Piron on the other line, if he ever wants to go work for a college as a sports information director, this is the dude right here. Joe,
I have lots of help. I have lots of little help.
I know you do, and I'm sure you'll get to that. But Joe said, okay, we're doing Batavia and Lincoln Way West. He goes, I got to get stuff on Batavia. I said, Joe, just stop.
Yeah.
I'm going to forward you this email, and after you see it and you see what it's all about, you're going to cry, and then you're going to call me. Joe?
I was crying and I called him, Dennis. Actually, when he said we're doing the game, I said, well, I've already emailed the coach. He came right back with, don't bother. I'm getting stuff from him already. He says you're going to cry. And when I got the email from him, I opened it up and I go, I actually showed my wife. I go, look at this. I said, this is better than, I mean,
what email did I say? I hope I said
it's your media release and he sends it out every week.
And it was the most
comprehensive
stuff,
informative, entertaining.
I mean, better than I've been fortunate to do a couple college games and on the radio, and I'll bet there's nobody in Division 2, 3, or NAIA that does any better than you guys do.
No.
Well, I first of all, I have a lot of dedicated kids who deserve, some level of notoriety and that sort of a thing. But also a lot of great coaches who, we've been doing this together for a long time, and who, play a big role in making sure that they, promote our sport. But I also know there's an awful lot of great people out there who want to promote high school athletes and high school athletics and high school sports. And so, I'm excited when I can, brag about our kids and share information about our community and our program. So yeah, it's fun. I mean, it's a fun thing. It's just part of the, your weekend system of prep work that you do and kind of look at how things are going. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Yes, you're welcome. No, I appreciate
everyone, every media person in the world. And Coach, I'll tell you right now, I've been talking about this all year, and Mike Clark has as well. We're struggling getting rosters. I mean, we're going to major high school programs, and we can't get rosters. I mean, it does not make our lives any easier. So we learn to appreciate a guy like you.
Yeah, we're always surprised at that. That seems like number, height, weight, and isn't that something, that they used to do in the 1930s and 40s, that was, so I don't know, but I think it's important to, also there's a competitive fairness thing that I think, we should all be able to at least tell our opponents who our kids are and that thing. But anyhow, I enjoy doing it, and I think it's an important part of, running a quality program.
As Edgy told me on the telephone when I was drying my tears, he said, and I agree with him, you get it. You get the process.
Yeah, no doubt.
And again, even in our area, which is pretty strong football wise, sometimes we get some rosters with no heights or weights or years or just a number and a name.
Crazy.
It's just absolutely
all right. So we're done. We're off
off
the praise. Now you're the enemy. Now you're the enemy coming to town. So here's an observation for you. I want to know what you think. Okay.
Okay.
I look at this Lincoln Way West program, and obviously we've known Coach Lokank. I mean, I know Coach Lokank since he was a player in high school. Yes. God, I'm old.
Yep.
And I look at them and the progress they're making as a program. And do you know who they remind me of? They remind me of Batavia towards the very end of Mike Gaspari's run. That's what I see.
We have talked a little bit about that, kind of what their growth has been, watching how they are on film.
Yep.
I think the conference shuffle was good for them. I think the overall balance and quality of competition has been good for them. And you have to rise up to that. We found that out in the Duquesne, trying to match schools that have been, traditionally from like the DuPage and things like that. And so they're experiencing the exact same thing. And, we've seen a lot of them on film the last week, and, they're a very, very good football team. Very good football team.
Okay. Talk about your team a little bit, Coach. I look at the defense kind of first a little bit, and excuse me, looking at all the numbers, your front, and I watched, and this is another thing too, that it absolutely shocked me. I got to watch the game the Collinsville game. I mean, I'm just going, I was in front of my computer for 6 or 7 hours with Batavia stuff. And I'm not lying to you, but I noticed that the front seven is very good for you. The front seven, your down linemen and your linebackers are very good.
Yeah. It starts when we were 3-4, but we're multiple. And, Coach Holmes been doing this a long time. He's pretty well respected around Illinois. And, his defense is very difficult to deal with from a standpoint of fronts and stunts and the different things that they show you. But it starts with those down three, Malachi and X and P-Core are ends, and they're tough. Malachi was the defensive player of the lineman player of the year in our league, but it could have been Malachi, and frankly, it could have been P-Core. All three of them were just sensational players for us. So they're very difficult to deal with. And when they're clicking, they're destructive. And that's, kind of where it has started. And linebackers then are aggressive and fly to the football and make, plays all over the place. They're fast. And I think, Feller is kind of coming to his own. But, inside the Jancy brothers and Bohr and Minnick, and, we've got some guys that can play in there. And then finally our secondary, Chase Osborne was is just an incredible everywhere player that annoys the hell out of everybody. Tackle after tackle.
Is he a three-year starter, Dennis?
2-year starter, but has been played a role as a sophomore for us in the playoffs. But once he found his spot back there, he's come out. And then a nice boost to us down the stretch, Josh Cayley, who had an injury, was able to find a way to play with it and through it, and he's back on the field for us. And I really thought, actually, he'd be, he had the makings last year of being an all-state player as a senior. So that was kind of devastating to us to start the year, but he's playing at a really high level. He's got it all figured out. And I think it's like we just added a player to our team in the last 2 to 3 weeks. And that's made a big difference for us. Our, corner rotation has been sensational. The young man Harp has really come on for us. Kulata has been a junior, just a great surprise in terms of how well he's played for us all year. Hansen, Micah, have a nice core group. DiBiase, we've got a bunch of guys we use in a lot of situations. But you're right, it starts with those down three, our D linemen, and they're a terror, and they get to your quarterback and they finish plays at a very high level with a lot of I don't know what the word would be. I want to be
gumption
here, but
tenacity.
gumption. Let's go with gumption.
All right, we'll go with
gumption. But yes, a lot of gumption at the quarterback, and they're big time hitters, and they get after. They really enjoy the physical nature of football.
One of your calling cards, I think it's safe to say, is you're generally always going to have a really good running game, and you got another good running game this year.
Yeah. It started the season out. Nate Whitwell, we were kind of coming toward all with a lot of young, first-year starters, even seniors or juniors. But as things have gone on, we've developed a few things. Been able to hit some runs with our quarterback. Grayson Kelly has been a nice, player for us, and has kind of developed into that kind of +1 guy with Nate, can do some other things. And then our couple of fullbacks have just been sensational in the backfield. Every once in a while, they're going to pop a play on you, but they're physical, very, very physical blockers, and Van Pelt and Brummel, and just have been excellent for us back there and done a great job. And then our receiving core, all block. They're all blockers. They like to get after it, and Mavs has been a great addition to tight end for us in our line, and Meyer. But yeah, our run game has been clicking for us, and I feel like it's been something we've been able to go to. We've added a lot of diversity to end the season here, and we hope that the way our passing game's beginning to click, it really starts to pay off.
Yeah, you could kind of see as the season's gone on, you see Bodie's numbers go up, and you've got a really nice receiver in Isaiah Brown on the outside as well. And you could see it kind of coming along. Is that fair as well?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I would agree. I think Isaiah's, pretty special. Often we're able to do different things now when the playoffs roll around, because in league play, sometimes everybody knows everybody so well. You've got to be a little more creative or less creative depending on who you're going against. It gets very tricky. I mean, these coaches, we all know each other. Really know each other's X's and O's. So, so some of that changes. So, last week we were able to kind of, ramp some things up in the passing game and got, 3 touchdowns. They got 3 touchdowns and just looked, spectacular at times. And, I'd say that's something we've been excited about. We've got a sophomore quarterback who has been in the mix because Bodie had some illness about a week and a half, about 2 weeks ago, and was really out for about 2 or 3 days. So we got him into the mix, and we're able to find kind of some things we can do with him as well. And so it's been nice to get Vander up with us and practicing, and it's going to just, I think, add to the stuff that we can do on offense. We're not afraid to, have a little fun and throw some different things at people.
Dennis, you're just talking about these couple of the injuries and getting the guy back and having a game like you guys did last week against Collinsville. It gives you an opportunity to get all the starters off. And I saw that every kid played and as a former, that's important too, letting everybody play, but giving those guys a rest. We did the Joliet Catholic Jacksonville game, and they got up before halftime 42-0. And Coach Jaworski took all his starters out before halftime. And just to give I think that's at this time of the year, I think you would agree that's very important right now to try to keep those kids as healthy as possible.
We came out very fast and did a great job, did what we had to do, and I thought that that was a nice thing to be able to not have to play a full wire-to-wire game from an overall team standpoint. I felt in a lot of ways this has been one of the healthiest weeks of practice we've had in probably 6 weeks. So it's been great.
So again, before you head out here Saturday, we need to dispel a few myths that are out here. We do have electric and running water out here now.
Hot and cold too.
We've had it for a few years. There's no more. No more Native Americans, attacks or anything. We're all good out here. So
all right, good.
Look forward. You should be able to get running water on your sideline. We'll see. We'll double check in that, but no.
All right. Well, we might bring a cooler of water and Gatorade with just.
Well, you got to go through customs though, and that might get confiscated. I can't mention any of that, but
we were there, Edgy, 2017.
I know.
And it was a crazy weather and crazy game and just nutty and but I it feels like it was a week ago, not a number of years ago now. But it's very very good place to play, tough place to play, and excited about it. Because our coach there was great, communicated right off the bat. We're pumped. I know a little about. They got a little legacy thing there with coach. Who knew the coach before and had been with him, kind of like you mentioned, like me and Mike, and so well aware of his experience and tradition, his excitement about being there and what they're trying to build and what the kids are all about. So you're right. It's 2 programs who both I think are doing things a certain way and are excited about where they're at as programs right now. And we're pumped up and looking forward to it and have a great deal of respect for them.
Well, I wish you the best of luck, but I do live here. So again, just thrilled to have you on, pal. Appreciate it. And again, just best of luck. Okay.
Thank you. Thanks. Yep. And thanks for all you guys do for high school sports.
No problem, buddy.
Thank you.
All right,
Dennis Piron
joining us. Batavia, great guy, great coach, and you could tell how good that program is. All right, we're up against it. 7:00 hour. Don't go anywhere. We will be here for you in the 7:00 hour. Matt Harding from Minooka, Alan Thorson from Morris, and we're just going up and down Route 6, just knocking them off as we go. You've been listening to the Round 2 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News, Talk, Sports.
Your home for Will County's news, talk, and sports. We're 1340 WJOL. From the Abri Credit Union Studio, this is Will County's News Talk Sports, WJOL, Joliet. from the Abri Credit Union Studio, this is Will County's News Talk Sports.
This is the Rich Eisen Show.
Mike, do your job.
Live from BMW Welt in Munich, Germany.
Belichick is now that guy. Is he looming over this process right now, do you think, Tom?
Every discussion I have, that's one of the first ones that everybody brings up.
Belichick, where is he going? Jacksonville. Do you think Doug Peterson really gets fired then?
Earlier on the show, Pro Football Hall of Famer Joe Thomas. Still to come, Pro Football Hall of Famer and two-time MVP Kurt Warner. NFL Network host Colleen Wolfe. And now, it's Rich Eisen.
That's right, everybody. Back here on the Rich Eisen Show, live from Munich, Germany at BMW Welt. We are live in Munich, site of the Sunday first of four window opener on NFL Network, or right here on the Roku portal on NFL Plus, between the Giants and the Cowboys.
And universally admired and respected.
Speaking at the White House today, President Biden called for Democrats to get back up after Vice President Kamala Harris lost both the Electoral College and the popular vote.
Setbacks are unavoidable, but giving up is unforgivable. We all get knocked down. But the measure of our character, as my dad would say, is how quickly we get back up. Remember, a defeat does not mean we are defeated.
Red flag warnings are in effect in parts of Southern California after a wildfire tore through homes and prompted evacuations.
The fire danger remains extremely high. I want to remind everyone that we have several new evacuation zones that occurred overnight, specifically in the Santa Paula area.
Ventura County Sheriff Jim Fryhoff. The fate of an Indiana man charged with killing two teenage girls is now in the hands of a jury. Richard Allen faces 2 counts of murder in addition to other charges. You're listening to ABC News.
When you're hiring for your business, ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology makes finding qualified candidates for your job easy. This made us wonder, what if the rest of the world was as easy as ZipRecruiter? Math problems wouldn't be so problematic.
K equals 42.
Escape rooms? Elementary. And summiting Everest would be a walk in the park. In the meantime, if you want to make your hiring easier, use ZipRecruiter. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Simple. So see what the world is like when ZipRecruiter does the hard work of hiring for you. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
An American citizen has been arrested in Germany on allegations he was spying for China.
We know that this arrest happened recently and that the person who has been arrested has only been identified right now as Martin D. Authorities say that up until recently, he worked for the U.S. military in Germany. And according to prosecutors, the man is suspected of having agreed to act as an intelligence agent for China.
ABC News foreign correspondent Marcus Moore. Wyoming officials have voted to sell a piece of state property inside Grand Teton National Park to the federal government for $100 million. It could mean the parcel ends up a part of the park while keeping it out of developer hands. This situation in South Carolina is bananas.
They're not infected with any disease. They're harmless and a little skittish. That's what the Yemassee, South Carolina Police Chief Gregory Alexander says about the 43 rhesus monkeys that escaped from a medical research lab this week. A new employee at the facility is getting the blame for not closing their cage door all the way. Law enforcement officials are using thermal imaging to try to find and re-trap the primates. They say again there's no danger to the public, but they're still encouraging people to steer clear of them and call them if they're spotted. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
The NCAA Division I Council has approved a change that'll allow Canadian Hockey League players to become eligible for U.S. college teams. I'm Mike Dubusky, ABC News.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Hey, high school football fans. We are happy to announce this week's Malloy State Farm and Pigskin Preview Player of the Week. We would like to congratulate inside linebacker Josh Feldman, who had 12 tackles for a combined minus 15 yards and a blocked PAT in Lincoln Way West 41-19 victory over Andrew. Josh and his parents will join us along with Coach Thomas on December 8th at the award ceremony at Gatto's in New Lenox, sponsored by Frank Gatto, a great partner to this program. Congratulations, Chase.
1340 WJOL presents Tim Kerfin's House Talk, Thursday afternoons at 12:15, hosted by the owner of Kerfin Inspections, Tim Kerfin. There's so much you can do around the house, and each week, Tim will give you the ins and outs on how to make your home the best it can be, and keep your energy bills down. If you're a business and would like to advertise or be featured on the show, call 708-935-3050. Tim Kerfin's House Talk, Thursday at 12:15 on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News, Talk, Sports.
Your clients and customers are the lifeblood of your business. You already know that. So let's give them the best this year. Give them Dan's Homemade Candies. Dan's Homemade Candies fills beautiful boxes with your favorite selections of their delicious homemade chocolate, made fresh daily right in Joliet, with the richest, finest ingredients. Dan's has several different sizes to choose from, and you can customize what goes into those boxes, from mouth-watering mint meltaways, dandies, truffles, or nut clusters, just to name a few options. Or grab a bag of caramel corn, or cheese corn, or even old-fashioned hard candy. Whatever works for your budget and your tastes. And corporate discounts are available, so call for your company today. Make this Christmas season a win-win for you, your clients, and a locally owned, locally operated business. Call Dan's Homemade Candies, with 2 locations in Joliet, 229 East Cass and 1003 Plainfield Road.
Meta's taking steps to tackle financial sextortion, a serious cybercrime that targets teens and adults. Ravi Sinha is head of child safety policy at Meta.
Financial sextortion is a crime where online scammers trick their targets into sharing intimate photos or videos, then threaten to expose them for money. To combat this, we're hiding people's follower lists from potential scammers so they can't use them for blackmail. We're stopping users from screenshotting view once photos or videos sent in DMs, and we're letting teens know when they're chatting with someone who may be based in a different country, as scammers often pretend to be someone nearby.
Sinha says even with these new safety features in place, it's vital to stay informed.
We have a new campaign to help both teens and parents know how to spot the signs of a sextortion scam. Be on the lookout for people coming on too strong in your DMs, asking to trade photos, or suggesting moving the conversation to another app. We also want to make sure teens know sextortion is never their fault and that help is always available.
To learn more, visit www.instagram.com/preventsextortion.
High school football on 1340 WJOL.
And welcome back. EDGYTIM here, along with the Coach Joe Rodriguez and Evan Bredesen. You are listening to the Round 2 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports. This edition, every edition of Pigskin Preview, brought to you by our State Farm agents, John Wright in Joliet and Kevin Malloy in New Lenox, like a good neighbor, Joe.
State Farm is there.
And we are going to go out to the phone lines and be joined by the head coach of your Minooka Indians. He's the one, the only, Matt Harding. Hello, sir.
Edgy Joe, thanks for having me on.
Great to have you on. We have to clear this up immediately. Coach, what time does your game start tomorrow night?
6 p.m. sharp.
Okay, so you're getting it. I'd call you something but a horse, but right from the horse's mouth, Matt Harding. So there's been a lot of confusion for some reason. I think I'm partially to blame, but that's okay. Just for your fans, your fans obviously are used to playing at 7 o'clock. Is there any reason in particular why you moved it up an hour?
No, just, they're going to be a little bit warmer probably than an hour later.
Yep.
We don't have to fight with a JV game or a sophomore game beforehand. So, you're able to set the time whenever you want and go from there. So, the kids are excited.
Walk us through your win over Taft. Good takeaways. What'd you feel good about walking away from that game?
I thought our offense did a good job moving the football, and our defense did a great job too. They got a talented guy up there, number 0. Played a little bit of defensive end and middle linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
He's got offered to U of I. He's a heck of a player for them up there. So I never seen a football field where the pads on the goalposts were actually in play.
Wow.
And the one side of the end zone, I was more worried about losing the football, kicking it over the fence onto I-90 over there. So we ended up going for 2 on that side.
Man, I have a story for you. We were I think I was at Joliet Catholic. We're scouting Bishop McNamara, and they're playing. Actually, it was I think it was TF North or something.
Oh, sure. Blame my alma mater.
No. It was up at Gately. I don't know who it was up at Gately. Okay.
Yep.
And Bishop McNamara scores the first touchdown, and guess where they're kicking it? To the north end.
Yeah, where the apartment complex is behind there. Yeah, I know.
Some little kid took it and ran off with it.
Still running with
and
it.
Richardson Andy was yelling and screaming to get the ball back.
I asked the officials before the game. I said, "Hey, if we score a touchdown out there, can I at least switch the ball out? Because I don't want to kick the quarterback ball out there on I-90. I'm not going to get it back."
Yeah,
you got that right.
If you do, it's probably going to be flattened. So
no, you'll find it in some shop or something for sale.
Oh, isn't that funny?
Well, again, we talk about those experiences, and that's an experience you guys will never forget, and your kids will never forget. So
yeah, and they were great up there. The hospitality from everybody up there. The kids were amazing too. Even after the game, they're still shaking hands and stuff like that. And that's hats off to the coaches and the families up there of, those kids and making sure that they're doing the right thing.
Health-wise, how'd you come out of it?
We're healthy. We got to hit some bumps and bruises, during the summer where we ended up losing a couple kids, for the year. But, knocking on wood here, we've been pretty healthy throughout the season here, and going into this game, we're pretty much healthy.
Well, you got to play a lot of guys in that game. You probably cleared your bench last week, haven't you, Matt?
Yeah, we were able to put some other guys in, near the end of the game, and it's always exciting, for those guys to be able to play in a playoff game,
right?
In that situation, and moving forward here, so it was good for them.
Now you got an opponent I think you're kind of familiar with.
A little bit, maybe.
Years, maybe a little bit there. In looking at this, and looking at your two teams, the last time you played, we did the game, and you guys fought very well for a half and just kind of got worn down. I think a key for you guys is your offense and defensive lines.
Yeah, for sure. We got to be able to move the football, as best we can. If defense is out there all game and stuff like that, and we can't move the ball offensively, you're going to end up wearing out. Where maybe we don't have so much depth at certain positions, so the kids are out there for 70, 80 snaps. That's not a good situation for any athlete out there. So we're going to have to be able to move the ball off offensively, and then also defensively, try to get off the field. We've been preaching all year, with our team. Our third down conversion rate, needs to be extremely high for us getting off the field.
I saw that, and I definitely want to talk about Zane a little bit. I saw he committed in baseball to Michigan State, which is awesome for him. Even more impressed the fact that he's playing and starting quarterback for you this year. Talk about his progress. Talk about where he started and where he's at, and what's really kind of leaped out at you that part of his game that really has gotten better over the last 9-10 weeks.
Yeah, it's just his growth. Coming in. Obviously there's an advancement from sophomore football to varsity football.
Yep.
And being able to pick up the offense, quickly this summer and kind of got pushed into that position, that starting position right away. I've said it multiple times. He's a guy that, if he makes a mistake and you correct him on it, he very rarely makes the same mistake twice. So he learns from that stuff, and he learns from the coaches. He's a fierce competitor. You know, he's got an arm for different angles and slots and being able to bend the ball everywhere, you know, and that's can tribute to his baseball, you know, and he is committed to Michigan State, which I'm super excited for, super happy for him.
Yep.
You know, 6'5", 6'6" lefty that can throw.
Yeah.
Pretty good. You can go pretty far, you know, with that. So I'm excited about it. You know, he's a 3-sport varsity athlete too.
Yep.
You know, he could have probably played maybe some varsity football at most places last year. We had a pretty good quarterback, you know, last year, so we didn't need to utilize him. But he played on varsity basketball as a sophomore, you know, and played some baseball. And, you know, it's uncommon to have a three-sport varsity athlete that's committed somewhere that's going to stick with 3 sports, you know. So hats off to him. He's just a great kid.
So I want to put your mind at ease a little bit, okay? I am not going to be anywhere near Minooka. I'm not even going to drive through Minooka tomorrow, okay?
You're taking the long way around, huh?
I am going to go right. I'm not even coming close. I'm heading. My game is east of you tomorrow night. Okay?
He's closer to my house, Matt. He'll be closer to my house.
So I'm just letting you know. I want you to relax, okay? I'm not going to be anywhere near there. We're going to have to fix that.
The announcements yesterday, they were singing happy birthday across the school intercom. I thought you were going to pop in.
Well, you know, it is a holiday. I know that Tuesday, they might tell you it's an election day, but man, I'd like to think it's a little something different. But, dude, we wish you the best of luck.
Yes,
you know that.
Luck,
you know
man.
where I stand with you. So it's,
for sure.
you know, let's shock the world. That's all there is to it. Let's just go shock the world.
And I'll see you tomorrow night, Matt.
Awesome. We're excited for the opportunity here.
All right,
Good
Matt.
luck,
Thanks,
man.
pal.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Matt Harding joining us from Minooka, right?
Good
Joe?
Guy. Good guy.
Let's go shock the world.
Yeah.
You got nothing to lose.
No.
Evan, you have nothing to lose if you're Minooka tomorrow night. Lay it all out on the line.
What's that saying? Playing with house money?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well,
the whole
like I said,
world's going to pick against you.
2 years ago, they hung with them for a half.
Yeah.
And like Matt said, the defense couldn't get off the field.
Right.
And the offense just three and out, and got the defense.
And look at
fired.
over the years, they've played East tough at times. They played Loyola tough at times. Hey, you just go out and get after it.
Yep.
That's all.
Joe, is this a game where, as a coach, with the way it's going, the way everyone's talking about it, if you're Minooka, do you do anything different? Do you try a trick?
Yeah, I was
early?
gonna
Do you do an
ask
onside
him
kick,
that.
or is it just, hey, we got here sticking to our game plan, let's just stick to it?
All right, Minooka, perk those ears up. Matt, perk those ears up. Last time, a big time, well, maybe it wasn't the last time, it was before that, when Loyola came here in the playoffs. They played at Minooka. Remember that? Do you remember that?
I don't remember that. no.
Okay, well, you know.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Opening play, double pass, touchdown, Loyola. Always be on your toes on that first play in particular. That was a great game. It was close, but Joe, you talk about taking the air out of the stadium. Dude, that took the air out of the stadium. And that's coaching.
That's coaching, and that happened to Lincoln Way East, remember? State championship,
Yeah.
game, second play of the game.
Yep. I said Loyola
does
throws that double pass out there every once in a while.
Yep.
So, you know, you gotta be on your toes, but Evan, getting to kind of the point you were making, hey,
Yep.
I let it all hang out.
Yep.
If I got some trick bag plays, I'm letting them go. I gotta
I'm sure
make
Matt
East
does.
uncomfortable. They've got to be uncomfortable.
Yes.
I do not want them comfortable. I want blitzes coming. I want different things thrown at them they haven't seen all year. If I'm Matt Harding and that staff, that's
Just
what I'm
roll the
working on.
dice and see what happens.
Yep.
Yep. I agree.
So, you know, and it's one of those, Evan, the longer you can hang, the better odds you have, the more chance that something weird might happen, a turnover here or there, a special team screw up here. And look, we all know they're playing Lincoln Way East, and we all know how well coached they are and the coaches that they have at each position. They will be ready, but Joe, what I love about this sport more than anything, it's still kids.
That's right.
Still kids playing.
Yep.
Kids do dumb things every once in a while.
There is nothing you can do to anticipate for the thought process of a 16 or 17-year-old male.
That's it.
That's right.
That's
That's
it.
part of what high school sports is
Yeah.
all about.
I agree.
Is there a game? It doesn't necessarily have to be in the area. Is there a game that you guys are excited about in round 2? If you could
We've been
transform.
talking about this off the air. Byron at my team.
Yeah, that's my game Saturday during the day. I'm real excited. I'm kind of shocked I'll see Byron twice in the same season, but yeah, good for me.
Do you think there's going to be any points at Naperville Central?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. From quarterback's the real deal.
Yep.
He's a real deal.
I mean, there's some great matchups in 8A. Not only the one we're going to do, but Glenbard, Easton, Stevenson, but then Aurora Main South should handle Aurora West. But then you've got
yeah, but hey, you talk about another time. The last time those two played, I was at that game. It was at West Aurora, and I think all you guys laughed at me because I went to that game. West Aurora fumbled on the 1 yard line going in for the game-winning score and lost. That's how close that game was. And the thing about this West Aurora team, Joe, they run high pace offense, passing offense. They get it and go, get it and go, get it and go. You get caught up in that a little bit. They want shootouts, and that's what Maine South obviously is comfortable with. But you know, if someone's doing it to you, sometimes it's a little different. It's a little different.
How about Marist and Loyola?
Yeah,
that's going to be a good game.
Yeah, boy, I still wouldn't bet against Loyola.
Nope.
Still wouldn't. You got one?
My game I'm looking at Prairie Ridge St. Francis interests me.
Yeah, and here's
really good teams, but they've been a little up and down. I know Prairie Ridge
here's
has dealt
why.
with some injuries.
Right, Vanderweil, quarterback. He's been out since mid-season. I don't know if he's done for the year or coming back. I don't know. I told you guys off the air, and it was public. Cary Grove, their fullback is out for the year. That's a huge loss for Cary Grove.
Yes.
Prairie Ridge's fullback is back. He was another kid that was out for injury, so that's a plus. But man, without that Vanderweil at quarterback, he changed everything in that offense. He just brought a dimension of speed that they had not running it. And the backup's good. The backup's a nice quarterback for them. But if they get that Vanderweil kid back, they could definitely give them a handful, no doubt.
Yep.
All right. We're going to step aside. We'll take a break. When we come back, we will go out to the phone lines. Our good friend Alan Thorson joins us. We're going to talk Morris football. Feel bad. We haven't had him on yet this year, but we're going to in about 5 minutes. So stick around. You're listening to the Round 1 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News, Talk Sports.
And it begins. Who will be there in November lifting a championship trophy over their heads? Likely the team that paid the price through detailed preparation. For 6 straight years, the Malloy State Farm team has lifted the Best of Will County trophy because we paid the price through a detailed review process done on a weekly basis for each customer. When was the last time you heard from your insurance person? Maybe call the Malloy State Farm team at 815-463-5800 for your personal price plan. Like a good neighbor, the Malloy team is there.
This holiday season, Straight Talk Wireless is letting you say yes a lot more with real unlimited data. Yes to sharing pics of the ugliest holiday sweaters. Yes to checking weather on the go for surprise sledding trips. And with a free phone at sign up, let the yes-tivities begin. No way! Yes way. Straight Talk, real unlimited data. Available at Walmart or straighttalk.com. Offer valid through 1/5/25 while supplies last at participating stores. Taxes and fees apply. Requires in-store activation on select single-line plans. Limit of 2 phones per customer. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com.
1340 WJOL presents A Rich Conversation with Rich Rennick. No politics, no controversy. Just the lively art of conversation about interesting people in our world.
My mom goes, hey, would you like to go on an interview and maybe do a movie?
Dan Castellana based Krusty the Clown on Bob Bell.
He said, I did a show one time at San Quentin. I said, yeah, I know it. I said, I was sitting in the front row.
They flew me down to Nashville to talk about it, and I got the job.
When Robert Wise decided to cast Christopher Plummer, who had dark hair.
I'm hitchhiking to the Comedy Store every day, begging to work for free. That was the beginnings, really, of hosted horror movies.
So we started the St. Paul Saints, broke every attendance record.
In my newest book, Fans First, the subtitles Change the Game, Break the Rules.
Join me for A Rich Conversation, Tuesday mornings from 9:30 to 10, right here at 1340 WJOL and WJOL.com.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code WEALTH to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code WEALTH for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code WEALTH for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Your official home for Joliet and Will County sports is 1340 WJOL.
And welcome back to the round 2 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports. EDGYTIM along with the coach Joe Rodriguero and Evan Bredesen spinning the dials. And this edition and every edition of Pigskin Preview brought to you by our State Farm agents Kevin Malloy in New Lenox and John Wright in Joliet. Like a good neighbor, Joe?
State Farm is there.
Joining us on the phone is a stranger. I don't know. For some reason, we just kind of banished him from WJOL. I'm blaming Joe.
Yeah, it's my fault, Alan. It's all my fault.
Alan Thorson joins us from Morris. Hello, sir.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
I don't know if you remember who we are, but we're very happy to have you
Met
on.
you back in August sometime.
Yeah. Well, first of all, welcome to the playoffs and congratulations. Nice big win for you in round 1.
Yeah, no, thanks. It's kind of been a roller coaster season for us. Little out of the norm, I think, for what we've been used to here for a while. But I think we've gotten back on track. We've had our share of injuries and just some things going on that is, like I said, just not normal Morris football. But I think we're clicking at the right time, and it showed round 1 of the playoffs for sure. A Triad. I thought our kids played great. Went on a long bus trip and got a really good win to start out the playoffs.
Yeah, and the one thing I love about these playoffs is, boy, it really shows up who you play.
Yes.
And you look at who you've played this year. You don't have a bad loss in the mix, pal. You lost to some I think I did what was it, like 35-4 combined record or something, and you even got to go to out of state to play good teams. I mean, come on, aren't you supposed to get some softy out of state when you do that? What are you doing?
Yeah, no, I mean that game was the real deal. Those guys in Michigan, they had a great team, and honestly, we had our chance to win that game. We were down 7 in the fourth quarter, and a couple things just went wrong. But for the quality of opponent, I thought it was a great game for us. It was a great kind of just prelim game for the playoffs almost. So you guys are right. I mean, our schedule has been ridiculously difficult this year, but we kind of intentionally did that. Going 11-1 last year and losing in the quarters the way we did to JCA, we wanted to kind of amp up the schedule, and hopefully we're going to see the benefits of that now at this point of the season. So again, there was some tough losses, and nobody in Morris likes to lose games, especially our coaching staff. But again, I think I really do think we'll see some of the benefits of the tough schedule here as the playoffs move on. Hopefully.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about the health because I know. Reading the articles in the paper, Matt, you guys had some injuries, but it sounds like guys are starting to come back right now and are pretty healthy. The guys that were injured and coming back, and boy, the last week's game was like a track meet in the first quarter for you guys.
Yeah, well, as far as the injuries, I mean, last week might have been the first game since week 1 where we've had pretty much an entire starting group out there.
There you go.
Had, Griffin Zweer's our starting running back, who's he's just a tank. I mean, he runs angry.
Yep.
He broke his hand in the Joliet West game, so we didn't get him back until I would have been the Byron Center game. He got back. So we've had our quarterback had to miss a couple games with concussion. Probably one of the biggest things defensively, Blaine Beshore, who was our starting middle linebacker. He was a conference MVP last year, and I think a lot of people have kind of forgotten about him because he was coming off of an ACL injury that he got hurt in basketball. So, I mean, he's probably missed 4 or 5 games this year trying to come back from that, and just probably the last 2 games, he's starting to look like himself. So I think getting him healthy, that's huge for our defense. I mean, he was 100+ tackles last year, and just all over the place.
He's a good player, yes.
Yeah, so you get guys healthy, and you just start seeing the team look like itself. Our quarterback down at Triad, I mean, he was, I think, 8 of 12 for 222 yards and 3 touchdowns, ran 1 in. You got guys like Jack Wheeler that have really done a great job on offense, Ethan Mumbrew, some really good receivers for us. So, I mean, we started out, I think it was 43 points in the first half. I mean,
it was.
We were clicking. And we had a few defensive mistakes to start out, but once I thought our defensive coaches made some great halftime adjustments. And once we did that, I thought they really clamped down. And Brett Bounds, I don't know if you guys got this.
No, I saw that. That was my next question. Have you ever had a young man have 4 interceptions, but actually run 2 of them back for touchdowns?
No. And it was, in every one of them, if you saw every interception, these were not give me interceptions. Every one of them were pretty much highlight material. And we looked it up on the bus ride home. They were both 5A playoff records. So it was pretty neat to experience. And his last one, I mean, it was just like he had springs on his spikes. I mean, just shot up and quarterback scrambled. He kind of tried to extend the play and throw over him, and he just jumped up and elevated in the air, made a pick, and took it to the house. So, yeah, it was pretty fun to watch that for sure.
Well, the benefit of having to make that long bus ride is someone else has to make that long bus ride this week. So, it's you talk about daylight savings time. It's like the opposite. You get like an hour back after last week, and is it a little bit of a danger doing the comparative score thing when you're looking at Highland?
Yeah, we've told the kids that don't get caught up in that stuff because they've had some tough opponents. Muhammad Seymour game that they won, they were a quality opponent. So I think our kids do a pretty good job of not getting too caught up in that. I think they've got a really good offense. I mean, they can put some points up on the board. Good running back, quarterback again that can extend plays and make some good passes. So. I do think we have kind of match up pretty well on the lines. I think our line, we might have a little bit of an advantage, but it's playoff football. And we told our kids, I know it's cliche and every coach probably says the same thing, but there's no bad teams left, especially in the later rounds. So, for us, as this season's gone on, some of our losses, we just haven't, not only we played good teams, but I don't think we've played up to our standard. So for me, I just want to see us play our best football. And really, I thought we had glimpses of that down in Triad. So if we can build off of that, I feel really confident. But again, Highlands is a very good quality opponent.
As far as you mentioned, is it being a coach and just living through this kind of season? It's got to be frustrating, right? At times, it has to be.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the injuries, you have no control over that. Kids are out there playing hard, and freak things happen. And I think we've probably had more injuries this season than probably the last 3-4 seasons combined. So, it's just next man up mentality, and our kids do a good job. I think our coaches do a good job of making sure guys get reps, just to be prepared. But yeah, I mean, I think one of our coaches did the math. I think we were something like 44 wins out of our last 50 games going into this season. And then you lose 4 out of 5. It's or 4 out of when you go 5 and 4. It can be frustrating. But again, I think for us, no matter what you do in the regular season, 9-0, 5-4, anywhere in between, we want to be playing our best football at playoff time.
Right.
And, I mean, some of our best teams when we've gone to state are teams that maybe didn't win a conference title. So, like I said, for us, it's just refocusing on the second season, and these kids have really bought in. And again, once you see some of your teammates healthy and they're back, and the kids can see it in practice, and it just starts looking good again. Things look like it was supposed to the whole time. The confidence just builds. So, these kids truly believe they can beat anybody. So, I mean, right there, that's all I ask for, is just for them to play with confidence. I definitely know we have that right now.
Yeah, and again, it's the program. Whether they were starters last year or not, they've been through the playoff experience. They've gone through it. They know they expect to be a part of it, and I got to imagine that's a big part of the equation as well.
Yeah, and we talked about, I think, even in the preseason, the guys that were on the baseball team that have made long runs, that have been there in those big games, and we got a lot of those guys. But yeah, these guys, I mean, our seniors have been to the semifinals, the quarterfinals. They've been right there on the brink of, chance to go to state. So they've been there in those big games. They know what the playoffs are all about. And honestly, from just a practice standpoint, you can feel it in practice. I mean, these kids have really amped up the energy, the intensity, and that's like I said, everything you want. So, kind of it's hard because, the losses can, and just the negativity around you. I think it's kind of funny. We've joked that we become the forgotten team with the kids sometimes, but we've said I think people are going to start recognizing us again playoff time. So that's kind of, like I said, the mentality we have right now.
Yep. Well, count us right next to you on the wagon,
Yeah,
Coach.
there
We
you go.
obviously
Yeah.
jumped on right in time.
Yep.
So, just again, Alan, just congrats and
Yes.
great to see you guys get back up the mat and swinging again. And again, good luck Saturday and go get them. Okay.
No, I appreciate it. We got 5A's a gauntlet, no matter where you're
Yeah,
playing.
I know.
So
That's true. Yep.
It's tough for everybody,
Yep.
but no, like I said, I like this team and like how we're playing right now.
No doubt. All right, Alan,
Good
thanks.
luck, Alan.
All right, thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
All right,
Right.
Alan Thorson joining us from Morris, and yeah, Joe. I mean, one of those years. And again, I remember doing my prep and looking at their schedule and go, wow, Sycamore, Rochelle,
Yes.
some weird team from Michigan, and all of a sudden is 8-1 in Michigan, so they must be pretty good. And
Yes.
some quality losses, and and even the non-conference win over Coal City looks like a quality win.
I'll
So.
say.
It's kind of going their way, and Joe, from playoff pairing night, I like the seating here.
Yes.
Morris, they're in a good
Yes.
spot here.
And again, it's just kind of the opposite of last year. Healthy.
Yeah.
And then they got banged up a little bit maybe the week before Joliet Catholic, and other guys went down. They got hurt, and
Timing's everything.
You'd rather have it the other way around. It sounds like talking to Alan that the Morris football team
Yep.
is very healthy at this time. So wish them good luck.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, let's. We got a few minutes before we get another break. Let's go through the area games. Starting 8A, as we talked about, Lincoln Way East, Minooka. And we kind of broke that one down a little bit. Joe, anything you want to add to that? Or
No, I just think it's going to be a good game. It really is. There's a few keys, and as I mentioned to Matt, is the offense and defensive line for them have got to play well tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night, looking forward to covering. I will be covering Lincoln Way Central in 7A, hosting Hoffman Estates. As far as the Hawks are concerned, Tim Hasty does a really nice job at that program. They've got some athletes. The main guy is Nathan Cleveland, their quarterback. He's also a safety, 3-star, committed to Minnesota. Reminds me a bit of Tyler Newben, who played at St. Charles North, that had a terrific career at St. Charles North, went on to Minnesota. He's in the NFL now as a safety. He was one of the top safeties in the draft. So
what is PJ Fleck recruiting him to play? Is he being recruited
Safety.
as a quarterback or safety? Okay,
safety. So you'll see him physically very similar. So a really good kid, really good
player.
player.
Combo you hear often.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mentioned that on the playoff pairing show. I said, if you're a quarterback / defensive end, quarterback / linebacker, you don't want to necessarily run into that because it's going to kind of hurt to tackle those guys after a while. And Nate's that kind of player. So he's definitely going to be a focus for Central.
And they're in the mid-suburban West, and Palatine, Fremden, Barrington are all still in the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's been a good year for them for sure. So we'll see it. I'm looking forward to it. It should be a good game. I haven't been over to Lincoln Way Central in a little while, so it'll be good to see.
Packed, yep.
Yep, no doubt. Oh yeah, it's packed for everything over there. There's no doubt.
Yep.
Our Saturday game in 7A, Batavia at Lincoln Way West. Joe, you've done your research on this game. What's your takeaway?
Again, with the Lincoln Way West has got to come out strong right off the bat.
Take away the running game.
Yes, they got to take away the running game, and I'm sure that they know that too. But as you mentioned off the air, that if you can get ahead of this Batavia team,
I say a lot of things off the air, Joe.
Yeah, I know, but
a lot.
These are the things I can say on the air.
Okay, good.
But if they can take them off their game,
yeah, 100%.
And
make them throw. They don't want to really throw.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're capable of beating them. They really are.
5A, we just talked about Highland at Morris. Again, I just like the path right now for Morris.
Yes.
I just think you see a physicality difference when teams come up from down there, when they come up here.
Yeah.
Ask Jacksonville.
Yeah. They're from they played Triad. and they play Highland. They're both from the same conference,
Mississippi Valley. Yep.
And you are absolutely correct. The Joliet Catholic game.
I mean, Joe,
I watched that and I'm like, oh my Lord.
That was men among boys. I mean, we talked about it.
Physicality.
The first drive of the game. I mean, Nate McGreeny was not getting touched till he got to the secondary at some point. So there was one point where he literally had to stop because he was so far ahead of his blocks because the hole got open so big. I mean, it was just after the first drive, Joe was saying, this is an entirely different thing than they've ever experienced.
Yes.
Saturday, 2:00 down in Spring Patch, Sacred Heart Griffin hosting Joliet Catholic. So Joliet Catholic fans, I'm sure a lot of you are going down. So this is what you need to do. Go down, look at what Sacred Heart has done with their campus and their facility and what they've built there. It's tremendous. Great layout, great setup. I think they did a fantastic job. And just imagine that over on Joliet Catholic's campus and what they could potentially do. I don't think it's quite as nice as Mount Carmel. It's not quite as unique.
Right.
But it's pretty close. It's pretty nice. And they've done a really good job there. That being said, you go in, you beat them up for 4 quarters, you go home and you advance.
They're a young team and they're prone to turnovers.
As I told you guys off air, Channel 1450, which does a terrific job of covering all preps down there in the Springfield area, all 3 of their experts picked Joliet Catholic to win. So what does that tell you?
Well, the 3 experts up here pick them too.
Right.
So.
Right. But if all 3 of us pick Sacred Heart, Joe, you probably would have your Hall of Fame title stripped.
We would.
And
all of us go in the parking lot.
Yeah, I know. I couldn't go home.
Pick Sacred Heart.
Kidding. But yeah, believe me, when they do that down in Springfield, it tells you a lot. And they're very good at what they do. So that tells you a lot. So I think JC is going to be fine.
By the way, if Joliet Catholic wins that game, they'll play the winner of Peoria in this little school called
whatever.
Thornton Fractional North.
I'm old now. Stop teasing me.
Anthony.
Yeah, I would love. I mean, believe me,
I
would love to see TF North, and I really considered going, but yeah, I think Peoria is going to advance. I like Coal City here against Boylan, folks.
So do I.
I can't believe anyone from Coal City hasn't called in. What are you doing?
They've only beaten 2 teams with winning records. The games that I went on,
hold it. We're going to come back to that, and we're going to open the phone lines when we come back. Step aside, take a break. When we come back, we'll throw it open. The phone lines will be open. You want to talk about Coal City and Boylan? I know one edgy guy that went and saw Boylan in person this year. Maybe I have a little inside information for you, Kohler fans. We'll be back. This is the round 2 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports.
Elegance Underneath is the solution to all your bra shopping needs. I'm Dawn Clutta, the owner of Elegance Underneath in Naperville, and for over 16 years, we've been serving women of all shapes and sizes who just want a great fitting, beautiful, and comfortable bra. Do you wear a hard-to-fit size? At Elegance Underneath, we stock band sizes 28 to 54 and A through O cup. We carry the latest colors, styles, and fashions in the highest quality brands, plus a selection of shapewear panties and more. At Elegance Underneath, our True Fit fitting will revolutionize the way you look and feel in your clothes. I'm also a board-certified mastectomy fitter, so if you're looking for post-surgical products, we even have those too. New customers always enjoy a discount on all full-price merchandise and no appointment needed. Like Elegance Underneath on Facebook, and come see us at Route 59 and 95th Street in Naperville.
Are you ready to make your next move in real estate? Look no further than Exit Real Estate Specialists, your innovative leader in the industry. At Exit, we're not just about transactions. We're about building relationships and fulfilling dreams. Step into a community of empathetic, well-trained professionals dedicated to your success. Our Exit Real Estate professionals are more than just agents. They're your trusted advisors and allies in the journey of buying, selling, or investing in real estate. Whether you're selling your home or searching for your next investment, trust Exit to provide an excellent experience from start to finish. Our commitment to putting people first means you receive personalized attention and support, ensuring your real estate goals are met with success. Call us today at 815-457-7575 or visit exitrealestatespecialists.com to learn more. Exit Real Estate Specialists, exceeding your expectations every step of the way.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear. Call me Papa Bear because I'm grilling up dinner. You get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
When was the last time you detoxed your body? If you're like most people, the answer is probably never. If you're experiencing low energy, brain fog, headaches, bloating, and skin irritation, then those are all telltale signs. So how do you detox your body? Well, you can add saunas or juice fasts, but what you really need is Active Liver from New Nordic. Active Liver makes it easy to help your liver detox your body all year long without major changes to your diet or lifestyle. Active Liver is available in stores at CVS or Meijer, or online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com.
A part of our community's rich tradition, St. Peter Evangelical Lutheran Church at 310 North Broadway Street in Joliet has been sharing the gospel of Jesus Christ for over 165 years and has the nation's longest-running continuous Sunday morning broadcast beginning in 1926. Reverend David Totsky, pastor of St. Peter's, invites you to join them in worship every Sunday for their divine service in person at 9 a.m. or on their radio broadcast at 11 a.m. here on 1340 WJOL.
High school football on 1340 WJOL.
All right, welcome back. It is the round 2 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL. Will County's News Talk Sports. EDGYTIM along with the coach Joe Rodriguero, Evan Bredesen. Looking forward to round 2 action. Again, our games of the week will be Friday. Lincoln Way East at Minooka. Joe, what time's that game time?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock, everybody. Don't freak out. 6 o'clock. It's all good. 5:30 Friday Night Lights. Is it? I always call it wrong. I always screw it up. Friday Night Lights, yeah. The pregame show. The boys will have the pregame show. So get to hear an extended Dave Dwyer. Nothing better than that. So we're looking forward to it. Saturday, we will take you over to Lincoln Way West as the Warriors host Batavia, the Bulldogs. A terrific matchup in 7A. That's a 1 o'clock kickoff. Both games you can listen to here on 1340 WJOL, WJOL.com, and give it a try in the Odyssey app. I use it all the time. Big fan. Joe, we were discussing Coal City. The Kohlers, the 7 seed, on the road at Rockford Boylan. Made that trip.
Yes, you have.
Was up there 3-4 weeks ago and had a chance to see the Titans. Been going up to Boylan for years and years and years to watch football. And it's a decent team. The one thing I noticed, Joe, and I think I've told you this the last couple of years I've gone up there, it's starting to look a little bit like the place that, you know, before the change of time or whatever. It looks a lot now like it did 20, 30 years ago. There haven't been a whole lot of upgrades or adjustments there. So I know that they're struggling. I know their enrollment's been down. That's why they're obviously playing in 4A compared to 5, 6A, even maybe even almost as high as 7 in the heydays. Still well coached, still a good team. Don't have the numbers and the depth that they've had in the past. So that's the one thing that really jumped out at me. They use 2 different quarterbacks. One's a shorter kid that's kind of more the manager, the offensive manager. They have a taller kid, more of an athlete, kind of more of a dual threat, shotgun snap, roll him out. So they can do some things. Quite a few of the linemen go both ways. I noticed that right away. I think the Kohlers got a definite shot in this game.
As I was saying before we went to the break, I watched a little bit of tape from what you can online. And they don't tackle very well. Well, Coal City, like you said, the front is okay. But Coal City has this guy called Landon Benson. Scored 5 touchdowns last week. This kid's a player.
Yeah,
he
let him
is
loose.
a player. Yeah, let him go.
Well, look at how the Nick 10 has fared in the playoffs, and people want to bag on the public league, and we're going to do that in a minute because we don't want to be left out.
No,
but people want to bag on the Evan, great note, by the way, just said Boylan's been in the 7A title game 7 times.
Wow.
So I'll tell you where they've gone as a school. They've gone from a 7A down to a 4A and continue to drop enrollment wise. But Hononegah was the conference champ. They got beat pretty handily in the first round. Harlem got whipped up by Mount Carmel. That was no surprise. The power in the football in that part of the state are the small schools.
Yes.
Lena Winslow, the whole NUIC conference is up in that area. Byron's up in that area. So there's some good football up there, but it's not in the greater Rockford area. It's more on the outlying and the smaller schools.
Yes.
They have not fared well. And again, it's a lock conference. And you guys know how I feel about lock conferences. I hate them.
Yes.
Because it doesn't give you an idea realistically of how you match up against a state. Rockford is a prime example of an area that more often than not is not good in the postseason. Again, I think the Kohlers have a shot here.
I most definitely think they do too.
So you want to bag on the public league? Sure.
Sure,
Let's do it
go
a little
ahead.
bit.
Yeah,
so
we'll do that.
So Evan, get on the microphone there because I know we were talking about this. So I'm going through the results over the last weekend, and I know Geneseo was playing a Chicago Public League team. I'm like, oh boy, I already knew going in. It's going to be ugly.
Chicago Sullivan, who was 9-0.
And a 1 seed. They were the overall 1 seed in that class. So they whip up in Sullivan. So again, we have wonderful fans on my message board, and believe it or not, you can get some actual information from there sometimes. It's not all knuckleheads. A lot of knuckleheads, but not all knuckleheads. So I asked the question, because Geneseo's been playing, they've been opening week 1 against a public league for years, like years and years. And they're always blowouts. I'm like, you know what I'd love to know? What is the point differential between what Geneseo has scored versus what the public league schools have scored over the years? So, Joe, thanks to our wonderful message board, we have a fan, and I know Bob, and that's all I'm going to say. Terrific guy, big-time fan. I've known him for a while, so very trustworthy. Geneseo versus the public league. Game 1 was back in 1980 versus Chicago Fenger. Give him the finger, Joe.
Give him the finger.
And now they're saying obviously they think it's going to come to an end. But including last week, here's the record for Geneseo. They are 41-1 against the Chicago Public League. Their only loss was 2015 against Phillips. They lost 24-7.
What Phillips do they?
Yeah, Phillips was pretty good. I think they won a state title that year, or they were in contention.
Yes.
So a very good team they lost to. And it was a tight game. He was telling me how close it was. You ready for the point differential, boys?
Here
we go. Here we go. Geneseo 1,805 points. Public League 251. So there you go. Again, don't want to bag on the public league. I will say, and I've said this, and I have another podcast with Mike Clark you can listen to, and we rant and rave about it. We have to bring another something into the seeding process.
We have to have a metric of some kind.
Yeah.
I
Strength
agree.
of schedule. I don't care. Joe, come up with the Joe Rodriguero system. Something that takes strength of schedule and some type of power ranking into consideration when it comes to the
Will you
seeding.
tell me
Look,
there are some states that use the Sangren ratings?
yeah, there's quite a few actually. So Sagarin is one of the components for the state. They usually have more than one. It's usually a couple things that they use. It's got to happen. Just to the unique setup we have, it has to happen, I think.
Well, then the state's going to have to go 1 through 32 with that.
Oh, I wouldn't even begin a discussion until they said they're going to do 1 through 32.
You're
To
gonna have
me, that's a no-brain. Just okay, whatever change you want to make, you want to add more schools, fine. We're going 1 through 32. Otherwise, we're not gonna get on board. That'd be my feel.
Yeah.
But
I
who
agree.
knows?
Yep.
815-254-7300. We got about 6 minutes left. So if you want to join us last minute, love to hear your thoughts. Wilmington, Eureka with a win to advance to get into the second round. I think Wilmington will be okay here, Joe.
I do too.
I think it gets interesting after this round because I see Dupec looming
Yes.
as a quarterfinal team, and that game would be played in Dupec, which again is in that northwest quarter of the state. I got all the confidence in the world in the Wildcats. I think they definitely could, depending upon how things shake out. We all know who could be waiting down the road there in 3A.
But maybe the game we're jumping ahead because we can. But maybe that game against Dupec will do them some good to get them ready for that game, that next game.
Well, if it's Montini.
Yeah. Okay.
So especially that's a look I'm going to guess the Wildcats haven't seen a ton of this year. Montini much more wide open, shotgun spread. They can do a lot of different things offensively. Montini can. Byron, everybody knows what Byron runs. So should be good. And by the way, our friend Joe Curie over at University of St. Francis, 6-2. They're at home Saturday, 1:00 at the stadium, hosting Olivet Nazarene, who's 5-3. So again, solid season for the Fighting Saints, and hopefully Joe can win out here and maybe find a spot in the playoffs. Who knows? We'll see.
Very good.
815-254-7300. Would love to hear from you. Player of the year? Do we even talk about it or
for our area?
Sure.
I mean,
well, we do offensive and defensive. Defensive is the one that we always struggle with.
Yeah, I mean, we really haven't. We got to start thinking about that too. We kind of get more of the coaches stuff on that.
Yep.
But it's. I mean, as much as we've had some great talent in our area this year, Jonas Williams to me.
Yeah, it's hard to go against them. Hard to bet against that.
You just think about that. 100 career touchdown passes
already. I know.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
And that is why he's going to play for Dan Lanning.
Yep.
That is why Dan Lanning wants him on his sideline.
Yep. No doubt about it.
And you see his skill set in high school, and you see the offense the Ducks run, and you're like,
perfect.
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
It's like someone designed an offense specifically for him.
Pretty
you can
much.
tell why that's just a natural, natural fit.
Defense. Who have you guys seen? Who stood out?
Well, you got Gage, the player of the week last week, Gage. And you got the Aurora kid on the defensive line for Lincoln Way East.
What about someone we'll see this week, Joe? What about Veldman?
Yeah, Veldman, the linebacker, is another good guy. And I tell you what, Joliet Catholic's defense, and we've seen them 3 times so far. A kid that he's only a junior, and the defense overall is really good. But the last couple games we saw play, the junior Ian Campbell for Joliet Catholic.
Yeah, he's starting to get some recruiting traction.
Have some good games also. So
he's one of those guys, Joe. I know you talked about it during the Providence game, but it felt like during the Marist game, and especially during the Providence game, when they needed a stop, he was involved in some way.
Right.
He was just he was either making the tackle, getting pressure on the quarterback. He's just one of those guys who every time there was a big play, you just I felt like I was saying, well, Campbell was in there as well. It's just he's one of those guys who he just has a knack for being where he needs to be in the big moments.
Yes.
Anyone else in particular defensively? It's hard. It's a tough one.
Well, I'll see Manuka for the first time, Evan and I, tomorrow night. So we'll see that, because I know, again, they're built. I mean, they're doing well on offense now the last 2-3 weeks.
I think Brady Kozlowski, their linebacker, who's only a junior, he started last year as a sophomore. He's a really good player. I'm sure he's one of a handful of kids to really watch on that defense.
Wilmington, I know, has a couple guys also that are pretty good.
Yep. Running back for Wilmington, Kyle.
Farrell and Kettman. I mean, both of those. I mean, Farrell was a little banged up, and Farrell's more of the.
Doesn't Farrell play defense too?
They all play defense.
Yeah.
Farrell is more of the run you over type guy, where Kettman is kind of the little jitterbug type.
It's a little Mr. Inside, Mr. Outside.
Yes. And I had to laugh with the stats. In our fullback had 1 carry, Hunter O. One carry, 53 yards for touchdown.
There you go. That's getting it done, Joe.
It
right
sure
there.
is. But yeah, those 2 guys are really good also. I mean, listen, I'm not going to disregard the Benson kid either. I know they're only 2 losses, Morris in Wilmington, but I think he's a terrific running back also.
Coach of the year. I'll stick with Josh Brosman from Plainfield South.
I think that's where I've been leaning most of.
Yeah.
What he's done in the short amount of time he's done it, I mean, it is unbelievably impressive. It really is.
Yeah.
I like Leon Payne. Hey, Leon, how are you? The star guy from Fenwick. He's talking about Nathaniel Marshall. Guys, you saw Fast Times at Ridgemont High, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Remember that movie?
Yes.
Forrest Whitaker is Nathaniel Marshall.
Okay.
Seriously. I mean, Nathaniel Marshall already looks like he's starting on like the New York Giants defensive line. Seriously, it's ridiculous. I'll send you a couple pictures and you'll see. He's incredibly ripped.
Yeah. It's a shame the quarterback, when they played Joliet Catholic and we did the game, he reminded me of Kyle Murray.
Yeah, there you go. All right, that'll do it. Thanks for listening, everybody. Get out to see a game.
Yes.
For the coach, Joe Rodriguero, Evan Bredesen, I'm Edgy Tim. Thanks, everybody. Have a great week. You are listening to the Round 2 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News, Talk, Sports. Good night, everybody.
Focus on Tour radio show. Bruce and I would like you to join us every Sunday